on it, whatever cream, whatever product you put on it. And so the scalp can easily absorb the chemicals that are in these braids.
This is a hell of a study, hell of an analysis, not theory, not conjecture, but fact based on the analysis of chemical construct. Now remember, the extensions obviously are epidermal. They're on the outside of the skin. But the chemicals they're citing are transdermal. They're able to absorb through the skin tissue and into the blood. Put it up full mass. According to NC News, the same chemicals found in pipes, pesticides, and floor tiles are also present in wigs, some wigs, braiding hair, and hair extensions. A new study published Wednesday in the journal Environment and Health, very credible academic journal. Researchers at the Silent Spring Institute, a scientific research nonprofit organization based in Massachusetts, tested 43 hair extension products purchased online and from local beauty supply stores. They identified 169 chemicals present overall, including dozens of harmful substances such as flame retardant, pesticides, and compounds used to stabilize plastics. A dozen of the compounds found are listed under California's Proposition 65. Proposition 65 is known as the Safe Drinking Water and Toxic Enforcement Act of 1986, which warns residents of chemicals known to cause birth defects, cancer, and reproductive issues. Additionally, 17 compounds that have been linked to breast cancer were found in 36 samples tested, the researchers said. In recent years, researchers across the country have been sounding the alarm over harmful hair products, many of which are used and marketed to Black women. Used by Black women, marketed to Black women. Consumer Reports revealed last year that carcinogens were found in samples of 10 popular synthetic braiding hair brands. 9 of the 10 samples also tested positive for lead. Lead has not only physiological effects, but also mental effects based on brain chemistry. Chemical hair relaxers also pose a risk. The Black Women's Health Study, this was in 2023, found a 50% increased risk of uterine cancer in postmenopausal Black women who used chemical hair relaxers more than twice a year or used the products for more than 5 years. That's compared to a cohort that rarely ever used relaxers. And a 2022 study from the National Environmental Health Sciences found that women who used hair straighteners more than 4 times per year had more than double the chance of developing uterine cancer than those who did not use the same product. Harsh chemicals found in synthetic braiding hair and other hair extensions can be absorbed through the scalp, causing irritation, causing burns, and redness. That's according to Dr. Chris Burnell, director of the NAACP Center for Health Equity. They can also be inhaled, particularly when heated during styling, and absorbed through the person's hands. For people who are concerned about their hair extensions, braiding hair, and wigs, Alicia Franklin, a research scientist at the Silent Spring Institute, said to look out for brands that label themselves as non-toxic or toxic-free. She also suggested for a possible at-home remedy that is commonly found in the kitchen cabinet, apple cider vinegar. Recommended apple cider vinegar. There's a doctor, a medical doctor. He is the medical director of the Atlanta Fibroid Center. His name is Dr. Lippman. Happens to be a white male. He's a white male who has a Black female-centered practice, and he has been on Indisputable before. Sharon Reed interviewed him. He's a remarkable human being. I would not say so if he wasn't. But he was the first person years ago who proclaimed the connection between these hair products and fibroids in Black women. Fibroids, okay? He said it. He didn't care what the establishment said about him saying it. He saw it in his practice. And he's willing to tell the truth about it. There are people out there speaking up and speaking out. We'll bring updates to this study as more information develops.
If you got hit, even
hair care. But is it time to stop using it? A recent study published by Consumer Reports finds that cancer-causing ingredients as well as lead is present in several popular brands of synthetic hair. So Dr. Imahirobo Ip, tell us, what exactly is in these products?
So synthetic hair is made of an ingredient called kanekalon. And kanekalon, interestingly enough, is made by one company called Kaneka. And what this study found, it studied 10 different packs of hair from different companies. And as you mentioned, it found really harmful ingredients in addition to the synthetic material. So one of them was lead. And in some of the packs, it had over 600 times the amount of lead that's allowable by certain states like California and Massachusetts.
Wow.
They also found an ingredient called benzene. Now, benzene is a highly reactive ingredient. It's actually discouraged that we use it in labs. And benzene has been linked to leukemia and lymphoma. The other thing it found was methyl chloride. See, these are just things we can't even pronounce.
Exactly.
So methyl chloride is linked to lung cancer and liver cancer. So just a lot of really harmful ingredients.
Wow. So needless to say, this is very concerning. To the point, one of my friends texted me over the weekend and was like, just so what are we doing about our braids, right? Point blank, because like, as I mentioned, we all got a pack or two of hair, many of us at least, lying around. And Shelly and Zena, I know that you
Washington, D.C. No trading and investing gurus, no flashy promises, just real traders teaching real people in a live workshop environment. If you've ever wanted to better understand how trading and investing really works, we'd love to welcome you to our live in-person trading and investing workshop with experienced traders. Every week, everyday people walk into our local trading center looking for more clarity, more confidence, and a better understanding of today's markets. Because trying to learn trading online by yourself can feel overwhelming. Random videos, conflicting advice, strategies that never seem to make sense in the real world. One attendee, Aubrey, said he spent years watching trading videos online before losing money trying to figure it all out himself. Then, after attending a Trade with the Pros event, he said, trading finally made sense. That's why our workshops are built differently. You'll sit alongside experienced traders, watch live market analysis, ask questions in real time, and see how professionals approach the markets step by step. No hype, no pressure, no complicated jargon, just practical, beginner-friendly education designed to help you better understand the market.
Live from the porch with Nort, free my nigga movie. I'm coming home to you when something see through. Live from the porch, so I can see your heart. Oh, I can't ever come. Doing it up for me. I watch the sky all day. Night is where I find you and peace of mind. My days are filled with grief. That's why I truly give you what you need. Because you love me for me. Will pass all through you. I can't help myself. Some words you can find my week is fine. Yeah.
So just a lot of really harmful ingredients.
Wow. So needless to say, this is very concerning. To the point, one of my friends texted me over the weekend and was like, so what are we doing about our braids, right? Point blank, because like, as I mentioned, we all got a pack or two of hair, many of us at least, lying around. And Shelly and Zena, I know that you see this a lot in your salons. How are you reacting to this news?
As Shelly said earlier, with the Crown Act coming, that opened up the door.
Yes, it did.
You know, and then we're looking at it, the next generation, the younger girls are looking at it. So it's something that we have to pay attention to because everybody wants to have the long hair. Yeah. That's what we came up with, either the long braids or the long hair. It was the look.
Yeah.
You know, so what the young girls see is what we're gonna really have to start promoting, especially in our salons, in your business. Because I always say it's the next generations that are going to come into us. And with me meeting you, Dr. coming to your office, I had the extensions, you know, and I had some situations. And with meeting you, you didn't tell me what to do. You suggested things that would work for me. No, I never thought I would cut my hair off like this, you know, but from your encouragement, between me doing my, you know, background check and from you adding to it, it made me realize it was time to go back to the natural hair. I'm not saying don't get relaxers, because you have to do what's best for you, but you encourage the little girls and the young ladies like me to do what's best for our hair.
And it's interesting you mentioned this because there is a class action lawsuit pending from consumers who have purchased chemical hair relaxers and said the makers of these relaxers didn't know that there were endocrine disrupting agents in these that were indeed harmful. And so it really just is kind of like, what are we supposed to do with our hair at this point, right? Because for many people, braids have been a a way to not only get that hang time, a couple inches, right? But also to just kind of set it and forget it and put your hair in a so-called protective style, right, Shelly? But is there any safe way to do this?
Well, like you said, they have different levels of like the VOC and the VOR inside of them. But I think the less is better, but I think they need to start labeling exactly what are in these synthetic brands of hair. Without synthetic hair, like half the people are not going to feel comfortable with styles or braids, you know, like you said, hang time. We love that extra lip. But, you know, with all the chemicals in it being brought out now, it's kind of like scary.
And there are human hair extensions, right? We know this. There are plant-based hair extensions, but I got to tell you, a pack of this, for instance, is about $5 to $10 a pack. That plant-based hair, $36 a pack, and sometimes you often need more than one. Yeah. So what do you say to people who still want to get those extensions, but may not be able to access or afford the more expensive and arguably safer ones?
I mean, one of the things that I'm trying to emphasize in my practice, where I'm seeing a ton of hair loss, is that hair health is part of our overall body health. You know, I personally lost one of my closest cousins to uterine cancer. And as I was thinking about this and researching this, one of the things that I realized is that, you know, she was 59 when she passed away, but I never saw her without braids. Right. And so I started to think about, how much could that have contributed? Otherwise, she was a vegetarian. She lived a very active lifestyle. And I think the problem is that none of this is regulated. I just want everyone to know that when it comes to medications, we have the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. But when it comes to personal care products, that is not regulated.
And why is that?
I don't know. I mean, I think we need to acknowledge that these things are all very political, right? And I think we need to acknowledge that a lot of research and a lot of regulations have to do with where the money flows. Like, you know, and I think that, as you mentioned, with the Crown Act, that was the first time that there was kind of like, okay, from these bigger brands like Dove, let's recognize that Black women are purchasing so much. You know, it's a $19 billion industry.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And let's try to hold ourselves to a different standard of accountability to this population. But before that, there just wasn't really any accountability, I think.
And Zena, are you considering switching up the products that you use in your salon? Like, how do you talk to your clients about it?
Hello? 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 Yeah, you said something about you left the shoes or something? So yeah, I gotta go back out there? Oh, okay. All right, cool. Is it raining? No. It is raining? It was raining? Oh, so did y'all was able to get them? Oh, okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, well, that's a good thing. So that's somebody you want to still do business with. Yeah. All right, that'll work. Okay. Oh, that's cool. All right.
Education is key. You know, you come into my salon, education is key. We don't sell synthetic hair at all in my salon. We only sell 100% human hair. And even I went to the beauty supply. I don't know when the last time you went into beauty supply. I purposely went. Most of the stuff in there is that Kanekalon and the magic fingers. And I looked, no ingredients. Like you said, on anything. I went through all of the packages of the braiding hair. nothing was listed. And that's the thing. We're like misinformed.
Yeah, that's a sign right there. If there's no ingredients, it's probably bad ingredients.
Yes.
So they'd rather not list it. But you did mention the food FDA. I just feel like even they're letting a lot of things slide with us eating. So if that's bad, you can imagine.
The standards are also really different in America versus other countries like Europe and things like that. So we have to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
But there's another group called the Environmental Working Group.
Yeah.
And they have a database called Skin Deep.
Yeah.
And so what you can do, if you can see the ingredients, you can type them in. You can type in the name of the product.
Yeah.
In my practice, I'm always trying to opt for things that are greener and cleaner, right? Which is not necessarily the same as organic. And I can explain why that distinction is important. But I was looking up the things and saying, okay, good, has its nice green light. One, they rank it from 1 to 10 in terms of harmfulness.
Yeah.
But one of the things that they found, the Environmental Working Group, was that 4,000 products targeted towards Black women were either moderately harmful or highly harmful.
Wow. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and I mean, it just kind of, it's like, we can't
win.
Yeah.
We can't win, right? Like it's striking because we know that Black women are not the only people who use hair extensions. I know you know this, Shelly, because you did Steven Tyler of Aerosmith hair. You added some extensions to his. I don't think they were the Connecticut, right?
No, it wasn't. It was human hair.
Human hair. But it is interesting, right? That time and time again, we're seeing these things come up with this demographic. Yeah. Now, I am curious from a business standpoint, right? Knowing that, Zena, you said you only use human hair in your salon. Shelly, I wonder if this is a consideration for you too. How does it affect the pricing when consumers are coming to you for services?
Yeah.
Is it just kind of a bullet you have to bite and raising your prices in that way?
In all honesty, a lot of times people come with their hair. We don't sell hair at Salon Monet. We do provide with extensions, human hair extensions. But yeah, we have to incorporate it in the price of the hair that we purchase. And a lot of the hair is like human, but I feel even human hair has a preserver in it as well that can be dangerous. Not as dangerous as this, but it's still pretty harmful for the hair and scalp and skin.
That years from now, right? Because it took a while to get to the point where we were having a study like this with these revelations.
Yeah.
Do you think years from now we could see a similar study regarding human hair extensions?
Yeah, I hope it's brought out even more. Like I talked about this probably 10, 15 years ago, but I think it's been 20 years that they've been putting this stuff in here. And now that it's affecting more women of color, and now that white women are getting into braided hair, Bo Derek look, I think it's really being brought to the forefront.
Yeah. And to that point, Zena, I mean, do you think it's, because you mentioned the Crown Act, of course, this was a congressional bill that was looking at not discriminating against natural hairstyles in the workplace. And you and Shelly were alluding to how it has catapulted into now looking at the harmful effects of these ingredients in the hair. Is this maybe a situation to where what Shelly is saying, as we see more demographics being affected by this, like if we're seeing that maybe the extensions that white women wear in their hair are having some of these ingredients, that there will be more action taken?
I think with the extensions in general, everyone goes for the nicer hair, for the better quality. So this isn't going to stop it, but we have to help promote it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Help educate it. I feel like with the younger girls, you're going to get here because that's the look. But we can help them. We can educate them. With the demographics, I just think it's the communities too.
Yeah.
We can't underestimate the impact of money and the fact that there's so many of us who can't afford, human hair is expensive. Even if you're using it for your extensions, let's talk about wigs, all of those things. It's really, really expensive, and it requires a different kind of maintenance than the synthetic hair. And I think that in part is why some people are afraid of it. You know what I mean?
I feel like human hair is a little bit more pricier, but it's reusable, right? Even braided human hair, excuse me, you can reuse it, but this hair, you can't. You just have to toss it away.
It's a one and done.
So I say to my clients, let's do the math. Do you want to purchase the human hair and you can use it? And we guarantee it for up to 6 months, our human hair, versus, other hair or synthetic hair or hair that you would buy at the beauty supply store.
And this would be, walk us through the reusing. I mean, would you wash that to take it out of, after you do one install, wash it and put it back in?
Yeah, so we wash it, we cleanse it.
Cleanse it, yes.
Yeah. We're really into that.
All right, we doing a feature on synthetic hair versus human hair, and it's coming to find out that it's a lot of chemicals in this hair, you know, to preserve it, you know. And to preserve the hair, and it's big business. So it's like, you know, Chris Rock did a whole thing about the hair that's being used. Like, you know, the human hair, from what I understand, I didn't really see that show he did that said hair and where the extensions come from. Like, I know one of the places was India, where the women grow their pretty hair and they're paid to cut their hair off. They'll grow their hair long and then cut it and shave it. That's a hustle over there. Did y'all know that? You know? So yeah. So you know, yeah, so you know, but it's, they saying even with the human hair, it's some kind of synthetic, it's some kind of preservative that's that is linked to it to preserve it, because they got to ship it from India. So that's going in a package, and say like if it's coming over on a cargo ship or something like that, you know, something that coming from overseas, you know, so that stuff have to be packaged and it's coming through different climates. So, you know, so it gotta be preserved, you know. So these ladies are bringing it to the forefront, and information is coming to the forefront about, you know, what is the chemical that they putting in the synthetic hair, allegedly, uh, and and even in human hair to preserve it for you to even use it. Then they saying that under heat, when they put the hot comb in it or whatever they do, it expels some kind of odor that even the person that is braiding the hair, they inhaling it and it dissolved through their hands. So it's a double-edged sword if you think about it, because the person that's getting the braids put in their hair, them ingredients, them lethal ingredients are going to absorb into your bloodstream and from your head. And that's how a lot of people are coming up with these, you know, out of the blue type of illnesses. It's from, and mainly women. It's coming from the synthetic preservatives that's in these weed, that's in the synthetic hair or even the human hair. So, but the lady just said that human hair can be reused, and they wash it and they dry it. So that's a good move right there, because the more you wash it, the more the preservatives come out of it. So I'ma say to the ladies, if you can save your money to buy synthetic hair, save a little more to get the human hair. Because you can use that maybe 2 to 3 times depending on how long and how much you keep your braids in. You know what I'm saying? So that's something we need to talk about more. That's a conversation we need to talk about. Like like one of my coworkers was coming at me. He was saying that he's insurance. Did he say he's an insurance agent? Yeah. So he was like, yeah, man, people, if you got a home or an apartment, people can come in your house and act like they hurt themselves and try to sue you. I say, what? He say, yeah. So you need protection, and I like, I like, bro, you need to know how to read the room. That's what I said to him. You need to know when you got shady folks in your house at the end of the day. And not only that, you got to be aware of people that be bringing people out the blue. Like, I don't play that. Maybe because I was somebody that showed up at people parties and I wasn't invited, but I didn't come to be malicious. I came to have fun. But had anybody asked me to leave, I would have left. But at the end of the night, whoever that was hosting the party, they was coming to me and my boys and my crew who I roll with, because I had, it was me and my boys, and then when we started getting sophisticated, we added a crew of ladies that we will all hang out together. And, we will go to, the finest restaurants and clubs and atmospheres of events. And, so, I was really with a party crew, you know, that's what we used to say, or that's what we say here in the DMV. We roll with crews, not sets and whatever the fuck, right? That you say in other places, but yeah. So we had a female crew that rolled with us, and if we wasn't with the ladies, we was with the crew of guys that rolled with us, and we was a party crew. We was always trying to find where the party at, because we know wherever the party was at, that's where the pretty ladies was at. And wherever the pretty ladies was at, that's where the party was gonna be at. You know what I'm saying? So that was my MO. That was our MO at the end of the day. And so but maybe because I rolled like that, I'm real particular about that. Can't nobody just come to my house, especially people that I don't know. Somebody brings somebody to my house that I don't know, they gotta call me ahead of time and say, hey, so and so, I'm with a buddy from work or whoever the fuck. And then when you do get there, if I don't like your body language, I'm like, bro, you know what? This ain't working. Or I don't care if it's a female. Beware of people that come to your house and they act like they ain't been nowhere. They looking at your shit all hard, and like they taking a note of everything you got going on, or like, nah, we ain't doing that. Look, I tell whoever that they came with, be like, look, I'll talk to you later, but I need you to roll and take your folks with you. I mean, you're gonna have a conversation later. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's why anybody in any people I invite to my house is very exclusive. You know what I'm saying? Because I would just say I will hope that whoever I call a friend would not put me in no situation like that. You know, and real talk, if I ain't broke bread at your house, then don't look to break bread at mine at the end of the day. I like who like me. I like people that like me. And people that like me, that's who I like at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like, I see you at a club or an event or something, but you gotta really mean something to me to be in my space. You know what I'm saying? And you know, everybody just can't be in your space for whatever reasons. And we'll make it so bad, it'll just be a few people that you just want to say, man, I don't, or female, I don't want you coming to my house because I don't like the way you move or your mannerism or whatever. And then, but you feel bad because you got to punish the crew of folks that we all be around. So I'm not going to have everybody at my crib and then I got to exclude certain people. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And then they all get together without you and they talking about you. So I just rather be like, look, ain't nobody coming to my crib. And I see y'all at an event or when I throw a cookout or everybody invited, bring your appetite. I got the food. I'm gonna have the everything on me. And that's me showing love because I ain't seen everybody in a minute. You know what I'm saying? So, but I only just been on a picnic cookout tip since my mother died. And therefore, you know, I'm honoring her and myself because me and her birthday is a day apart. So we didn't do a picnic or cookout this year. And we made it like a family reunion type of situation. It was like a cookout, picnic, family reunion. It was all in one. So we didn't do it this year because I had a lot going on with my son graduating college and we had to get him straight. So we took a year off this year. But we be back next year. Next summer, I had a cousin that reached out to me. She was like, cuz, what we gonna do? We gonna put this together before the summer. I said, nah, I ain't doing that until next year. And, you know, and I'm like, that ain't stopping everybody else from getting together and doing what they do. But when I do what I do, it's straight up honoring me and my mother. So that's the thing. So I kind of want to control the narrative at the end of the day. I pay for it. I make the menu. I buy the drinks. I pay for the DJ, you know. So it's my production. So I call the shots at the end of the day. So, you know, so I didn't want to really do it with nobody else because I want to be in full control of the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? So when you're partnering with everybody else, you don't get to have that kind of control. So that's just what it is with me. You know what I'm saying? So uh, I done strayed off the subject about the main feature of this live is about why the synthetic hair and human hair is not regulated like food and anything else is. and these beauty product makers making all these kind of relaxers and products that's bad for women hair. It's actually a show that's out about this. A big beauty empire called the show is called Beauty in Black. My wife watched it. I think I watched the first season and it might be on this third. One thing about me, when I watch Netflix or anything that deal with a series, if I only watch it till whatever series that it go to. If I catch it on the first series and it leave and come back, I mean, I don't watch every 50 Cent joint or everything he done did. That's the homie. But all these shows for the most part, you know, how they break the shows up that should have been movies or whatever. After the first season, if I catch the first season, I'm not going to watch the second season or anything else. I'm gone after that. That's why I do like catching movies or these series when it's in a second or third, you know. But at the end of the day, I'd rather watch a movie for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? Something you could just get a 2 hour, you know, feature from, and then they want to break it up in an hour. You know, I'm like, all right, cool, you know, whatever. But I gotta come on deck what is already established in whatever season that it is, and I'll sit there and watch 3 to 4 episodes within a day. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most you gonna get out of me a day. I won't sit there all day watching a whole series. I'm not doing that. I don't have time like that. But yeah, but you know, but that's the feature. You know what I'm saying? Why these hair products and synthetic hair, human hair is not regulated. You know, that's the question we trying to figure out. You know what I'm saying? So uh let's get some black history in this, man. You know how I do. That's why in the title it say 365 Black History. Salute to Tom Joyner who made and coined that phrase. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So where we going at? Where we going in the world with this? You know what I'm saying? How we like to do it. You know what I'm saying? How we like to do it, player. Okay, got a good one for y'all. Got a good one. The owner of Little Caesars, Mike Ehrlich. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Ehrlich, Ehrlich, Ehrlich. Anyway, this man heard about Rosa Parks. She had a robbery and a break-in, and whoever did that assaulted her. Something they didn't have to do. Probably punched her and smacked her up a little bit and robbed her in Detroit. They didn't say exactly when, but this man never spoke of it. He contacted a buddy that was a judge and offered to move her and put her in a better location that had better security, better neighborhood, and so forth. This is a white man. Well, I don't know what's his nationality. He looked white, but this is the Black History moment on Streets Finest podcast. Let's go. in 1984 after Rosa Parks was robbed and assaulted in her Detroit apartment at age 81. Little Caesars founder Michael Eilish quietly stepped in to pay her $2,000 monthly rent and covered her boarding. What is that? Her housing costs from 1994 until her death, October 24th, 2005. Michael Eilish. That's your Black History moment on Streets Finest Podcast. You ain't getting that nowhere else. Not on no podcast. I ain't seen nobody do no Black History moment. You feel me? This is what we do over here. This is how I separate myself from everybody else. Nobody is doing that. Now, when people start doing it, I'm not mad because we need to spread different information about our great people that the history books don't teach us. You know what I'm saying? Past, present, and in the future to come. Let's go. This is what we do. We do this. All right. All right, so now I'm on a tip. David Ruffin from The Temptations. Great artist, great singer, all that. But this will hit home right now. There's a group called The Choice 4. The Choice 4. Straight out of DC. Eastern High School. This is my uncle and his group that got signed by who the hell their records was by hold on, let me look it up. We ain't gotta hurt our brain nowadays. Okay, it's bringing up all their records, but I'm saying. All right, let me go to YouTube. YouTube. Google. I don't know why I don't know this, but I should. RCA Records. RCA Records. All right, so okay. Walk Away from Love was sung originally by the Choice Four, and David Ruffin went solo from the Temptations, and that was one of his singles that he sung that he made famous. But the Choice Four recorded that record first. Like many records that they peak, but they don't get to be hits and out the stratosphere from a local, area or territory, and they don't get to be international until another big artist sing it. This was this. This is what happened to Walk Away from Love. You know, that song itself. All their music was produced by Van McCoy, which was straight from Largo, Maryland. Went to Largo High School. So that's the DMV area right there. And Van McCoy is famous for The Hustle. And he uh, scored the movie Mahogany. Um, and others, countless music, and he worked with a lot of artists and everything in the DMV and throughout the 70s with different artists, right? So I come to find out that the Choice Four toured with the Temptations. They did background vocals. There's pictures of them in the studio together and all that. So David Ruffin went to the powers that be and said, "Hey, I want to record Walk Away from Love," which is the Choice Four, one of their hits, but I can make that song bigger. So when I hear it and they give David Ruffin that credit, I just want to stand on business and say that was the Choice Four record, and it was a hit when they did it. But because David Ruffin was with one of the biggest soul groups that ever recorded. That's why he took it to another level. And then what was crazy, he kept their background vocals. So they're on the song. So so again, that was a double-edged sword. Somebody took your song, recorded it, blew it up bigger than you did it, but then you still hear your voice on the record because he kept the background vocals. They doing all the harmony, the Choice Four. And so let me give y'all a little snippet, man. Because this need to be documented. And that's what I'm doing. This is my family music right here. You know, his name was Bobby Hamilton. That's my uncle, not by blood, but him and my dad grew up together. all his friends in the choice for they were all buddies from childhood. Grew up in Southeast Washington D.C. and you know great things everybody done in their life and their journey. You know, and Uncle Bobby was one.